So the question in line with what the gentleman just asked about the free will versus fate and death, for example. So in your talk, you give the example of a young boy, healthy, dying at 32, and the mom could not get over it, and you said it would be karma. So is it good or bad? That's my one question. Like what kind of karma did the mother have, or the son had? Or, so that's one question, and the other one was, is the death destined, was destined for this man who died, or the boy who died at 35?
Can we remove? So, whose karma is it that the death happened? That's what you asked.
So to explain, you said the mom could not get over it in 2 years, and then you had to explain when you met her, or you gave her some explanation, right?
Yes.
And then what was that? Is it karma? So, like that. So good, bad, what karma? Like that's what
It is neither bad nor good, right? It is just karma. So it's in general, we as ordinary human beings, we assume, we consider, we have labeled birth as good and death as bad. We need to first know and understand that these are just events. It's human beings who consider that birth is good and death is bad. Just imagine if there was no death on this planet. If people only birth, people getting only born, what would be the result? We would go home and we would be cooking for I don't know how many people right now. All our ancestors. So death is not bad and birth is not good. They are just events. And when they happen at a certain time in a person's life, it's because of the past karmas that the body was born, it sustained and it died. It was the karma of that son, of that particular boy, and also the lady, because that son was born to her, and so she had to suffer and see the death of her own son. So both their karmas come together.
There is this concept in Prarabdha. You understand the Prarabdha? You understand it, right? Prarabdha is the karma phala which is going to be born in this particular birth. Everyone has to face that. We talked about free will, we talked about Prarabdha or the fate. There is this thing called Sveksha Prarabdha, Pareksha Prarabdha, and Aniksha Prarabdha. Sveksha, Pareksha, and Aniksha. Right? So, Sveksha means my Prarabdha. I have to go to this talk, I want to listen, and I want to enjoy it, I want to understand and learn. That's my choice. And I came here and I say that, okay, this was in my Prarabdha, that I'm going to go and listen to this particular talk. But you know what happens? Someone falls sick at home and I miss out on that opportunity. That is called as Pareksha Prarabdha. Now, it's not in my destiny, but because I was somebody else's, because of that I got, I cannot make it. Somebody else's choice, or somebody else is deciding on my behalf. Again, it is my Prarabdha only. Somebody falling sick in house is my Prarabdha only. But because of someone else, I cannot do something, is also there. So these aspects of karma and the Prarabdha are very integrated, very complex. Let us not try to dissect it too much. You ask whether it was destined or not, whether it was the karma bad or good. There is no right answer. As she said, there is no good karma, there is no bad karma. There is a karma and you are going to get phala. Whether you call it as a good or bad is because of how you are trying to attach to that particular karma. Does that make sense?
And then he was destined, right? Like the person.
Yeah, he was destined.
And it's important
we say that only after he was destined, meaning only after the fact, only after that particular event. We say that, okay, he was destined to live only this much.
And it's especially when it comes to birth and death, it's important, except for the case of suicide maybe, it's important for us to understand that no person is responsible for someone else's death. And why is it important for us to understand? Because we have seen so many people who, it's been 20 years since someone's death, and for 20 years I'm blaming myself that it's because of me she has died. I couldn't take her to the hospital, I couldn't get her a nurse, I couldn't give her the medicines on time. So because of my lack of attention, she died. That lack of attention, that lack of care, that my inability to take her to the hospital is just a nimitta, is just an instrument. She was destined to die in that moment. Even if you had taken her to the best of the hospitals, she would have died. And that's something which is why birth and death in all normal circumstances, they are destined. The moments, the circumstances. Some people blame themselves that I couldn't be present when my family member died. I really wanted, like especially people here in the United States. We have talked to many, and 3 years, 5 years, they are unable to get over it. I wanted to go back, but I couldn't go back in time, and he or she passed away, and blaming myself for past 3 years. The fact that you would not be around that person was destined. It's something we need to understand. After the death, before the death, when we know that someone's death is coming, make every effort. Take to the hospital, try to go, fly, do whatever you can. That's the effort.
Don't blame yourself and don't blame others. There are cases where people have blamed their siblings for not taking good care of their parents. I was stuck here, you should have done that better. And cursing the siblings, brothers and sisters. That's not good either. Whatever has happened has happened. Whatever has happened is going to happen. Just accept the fact and be the namitta matra.
And just a follow-up, Namaste, Acharya ji, you had the three, you said Svecha, Parecha and Anicca. What was the last one?
Anicca.
Anicca.
There are certain things that even if I desire or not desire, it is going to come to me.
That's Anicca,
That is
without your
anicca.
desire, without your will.
Without my will, without my ichcha. I'm walking on the street, I'm going to go to this particular event, I'm ready, I'm dressed up, and somebody drives past through the muddy road and splashes something on me. And I have to go back and change it, or I cannot make it, whatever it is.
Traffic jam.
Or traffic jam. There are so many things we cannot explain in the life.
Or something good also. So the way you should not be blaming yourself, you should also not be taking credit for good things. There is also a flip side. Or because of me, my parent or my sibling was saved. I took the care, I took him to the hospital, and because he wasn't saved because of you, you were an instrument in between. So no one is alive because of you and no one is dying because of you. We are all doing just our parts in the ecosystem.
Hi, Namaste. So my question is about the example that you gave, right, for Zinabai, that she was brought as a maid. So I assume she was very busy in her day-to-day duties, right, at that household. So she was busy and still she was devoted. And there might be some people in the world who are much more fortunate, who have a whole lot of time. So how this is devotion while you're busy or not busy? Is it inbuilt? Is it comes when you're born or can be cultivated?
It must be cultivated. It doesn't come when you're born. Bhakti is something that you have to cultivate. Devotion is something that you have to practice. Something that you practice day in, day out is something that you cultivate. When you start making rotis, I suppose you make rotis or you know how to make rotis, right? Because these days it's different. Roti maker is everywhere, so you practice. Only then you make it. Something Shraddha, we call devotion, Bhakti, Shraddha, these are the things. There are steps. Shraddha gets developed, then it becomes Nishtha. Yeah. So it doesn't happen in a day or two. Oh, I see Lord Rama and now I've fallen in love with Lord Ram and now I'm devoted to Lord Ram. It doesn't happen like that. You have to understand, you have to practice, you have to recite the mantra, you have to chant, you have to hear the glories of Lord Ram, and then only you develop the devotion towards Lord Ram. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's effort, like active effort. You learn.
It's
you
active effort.
listen,
Yes.
Yeah, you choose the path and you work.
Correct. And it is absolutely not related to how busy you are in your during your day and what kind of chores you are doing or how idle you are sitting doing nothing. It's the state of mind.
The problem is why all don't start bhakti, upasana. That is, this here the prarabdha part comes. That whatever good karmas, nishkam karmas we are done in previous life, in this life, the fruit of that accumulates. And when that is sufficient, then only God's grace operates. And that creates a wish to know the God. There we start, and that's why all the people don't go to that path. And once that happens, then it is in our hand.
Yeah, thank you. That makes sense.
Any other questions?
So my question was around kids today, next generation, especially growing up here. Like you mentioned, they ask questions, why we do this, why we do that, which is fine. And a lot of times we as parents cannot really explain. But sometimes, I mean, what do we do if they say, okay, now I don't believe in any of this, I'm going to be an atheist. And I was looking at the flyer also, and there was how do we, is it even possible, or is it a prarabdha, and how do we try to at least sow the seeds of devotion, or make them maybe divert them to that path somehow? Is that possible then?
We can create circumstances around them in which they might feel interested. They might feel interested, they might get gravitated. We can create such circumstances. We can try to have non-forceful conversations with them, trying to explain the God and devotion, the symbolism behind all our rituals, the significance in a more rational manner that they can understand. But that's all that we can do. We cannot really make them devotees or believers in God. In Hindi, it can be best explained that they will go all over the world, बहुत सारे धक्के खाएंगे, and when they figure out that nothing is really working, they have tried everything that they can everywhere in the world, but they are not getting the solace or the feeling of completion or happiness or bliss or whatever, then they will try to figure out, okay, I have tried so much, but it's still not working. What can I do? That may happen in this lifetime for them, or next, we don't know. So they will come to God, and when I say God, I don't only mean to say the Saguna God, the Nirguna God, or the path of spirituality when it is the right time for them. We can't force a person.
As Maharishi said, Shuddha Punya. When you are doing your Nishkam Karma, Nishkam Upasana, that's when you are Shuddha Punya. That's only when the devotion will start. So same thing is applicable to the kids also. We try to imbibe, enforce sanskaras. We want to make them sanskari kids, and we go too hard, push them too hard and too much, and sometimes we wonder why is this happening like this, and we feel helpless. You don't have to do that. You just have to give a pinch of hint. This is what we are doing. This is how our tradition is. This is what is the real meaning behind it. For that, obviously, to answer the question, first you need to know, in order to be able to explain what the real meaning is behind whatever rituals that we do. Why do we lit diya? Why do we offer naivedyam? Why do we worship? What is the reason behind that? When we worship and decorate the Lord with the flowers, the beautiful flowers and the incense sticks and the diya and everything, it's not the Lord is going to get all that thing, right? The prasannata, looking at the puja room, who is getting the prasad? The prasad is our chitta becoming prasanna. You understand prasanna? Does everyone understand the meaning of prasanna? Right? It's a Sanskrit word. So we become prasanna. It's for ourselves that we decorate the God. Because after looking the God, in that particular fashion, we feel happy. Otherwise, we'll take the flowers and we'll throw on that. We'll take the bunch of rice and throw on it. Is it how we do? No. We put the flower, we properly offer it to the charan or at the base of the murti. There is a reason behind that. When we decorate the idol in a particular fashion, we feel happy about it. That is why we do them. So these are the things how you can explain it to your kids, your next generation, and don't try to force them too hard. Let them figure out their own path. And I'm sure once they understand reality, as she said, at the end of the life, whenever that is the right time for them, they will follow it. And that may be early age, young age, or it may be at the far end of the life. Who knows? That's their prarabdha.
That being said, certain things, especially in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, we are too open, too flexible. So at least in the formative years, if my child is already 18 years or 21 years, there's really nothing much I can do. So let's be at peace with that. But if my child is 6 years old, 4 years old, 8 years old, 10 years, up to 16 years of age, there are certain things, certain practices which can be enforced in house. Whether kids like or not, whether kids agree or not. So for example, that in many households, whenever nice food is made or any delicacy is made or even day-to-day food, we will first offer it to God. It looks really tempting. You're tempted to eat it yourself. But no, I will not eat and you will not eat before we offer it to the God. It's a very simple ritual. And God doesn't feel happy or unhappy whether you give him the jhutha food. But it's for us. It's for me to develop the control on my own senses. Right? So in the early years, definitely there are certain things we can enforce. We will sit together as a family, not in front of TV, in front of God for 10 minutes. We'll pray every day together. These things can be enforced in the early years. 18, 21.
Eating the meals together.
Eating the meals together.
There are families where people don't eat meals together. Everyone has their own time and schedule, and all that practices have stopped now these days. So it's unfortunate, but we can try to, as much as men, and do that.
We have to answer the questions kids ask logically, and for that we have to know them. All our rituals are directed towards discipline, towards health, and towards devotion, to develop that devotion. Everything is directed towards that. So we have to know, there is Sanskrit saying that ishtam dharmena yojayet. That means which is correct for our health, for our mind and body. You should put it in a dharma. Nowadays it's entirely different. You should know the answers. Why certain foods are made in certain seasons like that. It's not because I am telling you. It's because it's good for the health. This is the proper food to eat in this season. This is the way we should work. Why Surya Namaskar is important? Because it gives keeps our body fit.
So I am impressed with this karma principle, like the law of karma, okay? But I always get the question, like the law of karma is working for so many thousands of years, okay? But it is not able to punish all the wrong people, and there are so many wrongs still going on. So, how do you answer that?
It's a beautiful question. Everyone gets that question. Why is this happening with me only, despite I am being the righteous person, doing all the right things, and that guy over there, right, the corrupt, the most naughty and inappropriate behavior person is enjoying the fruits of life, so-called, right? Why is that person getting all the riches and power and whatnot? Is that
Not
correct?
exactly.
No. Then
The question I was talking about, like there are a lot of bad things that were happening. So in India, for example, if you see our history, okay, a lot of bad things happened to our country, our population, and by this time, the all the and it is coming from the periods of Rama and Krishna. If you see, when at their time there were a lot of Rakshasas, all their bad people, right? And then they got punished, everything happened. But then at some point of time I was thinking that okay, if this law is so good, then people start behaving, and then everywhere there is a Ram Rajya by this time.
Ram Rajya is just an illusion. Even during the time of Rama there was Ravana. Even during the time of Sri Krishna, Pratyaksha Bhagavan Sri Krishna, there was Duryodhan, there was Dushasan, right? So understand that even when the time of the righteous people, there will always be people with bad intentions and bad behaviors. So don't get into this illusionary world of Ram Rajya will ever come. That is not how the Ram Rajya is. But to answer your question, why there are people who have gotten all the good things despite they behaving badly, that is, the answer is given to that is because of their Purva Janma, Purva Punya. They have done something right in their past lives, which is why they are getting all the things that they are experiencing right now. They might not have any brains, but they are the Sattadhish. They have the power in their control. Why? They must have done something. That's the only solution that is there. Otherwise, this question cannot be answered. Because of their past deeds and past karmas, every human being, every person, every individual is getting whatever is that they are due in this life. And this applies to everybody at all levels.
There are always going to be bad people and good people on this earth. It won't be without one type or another type. At any time, right in the Satya Yuga, there were bad people, like Hiranya, Kashyapu, etc. This is God's arrangement, I can say, that this world sustains. It needs imbalanced three guna, sattva, raja, tama. They have to be imbalanced, not in equal proportion. If only sattva were to be there, then it's impossible, because sattva is not active. It needs raja. Determination, tama is needed. For sleep, tama is needed. And when it becomes excessive, then the bad things happen. So bad things are going to happen. When the three gunas are in equal proportion, pralay will happen.
So imagine if someone made a movie in which there are only good people trying to help each other and there is no evil character, no bad thing happening, no climax, no anticlimax, no twist, no turn, just everything going in a routine fashion. Who would go and watch that movie? Right. So it's just as we said, it's the Ishvara's governance, in which the governor has decided that a proportionate from the entire population, some people will be really bad, some people will be really good, and then the majority of population in between is sort of somewhere in the borderline. If they get influenced by the bad, they will go to this extreme. If they get influenced by the good, they will go to this extreme. What we were told is this extreme 5% people, really good, really bad, we cannot do anything about them. But the middle 90% of the population, that can be helped, and we are somewhere in the middle. So the more we influence ourselves with the right kind of sangati, right samskaras, right influences, we would be at least gravitated towards the good direction.
My question is to Pramod Dada. So Pramod Dada, you said that people who are doing at this moment wrong thing, but still they are getting good fruits, it may be because of their prarabdha. So in that case, if they have done something good in previous life, why do they feel like doing bad things now?
That's
If,
their,
if there are
that's
so
their
many
free will.
stories,
That's their free will. That's their kriyamana karma swatantriya. That's their choice that they are picking. They can be on a righteous path too, if they choose to. But if they are choosing wrong path and wanting to go deliberately going in the wrong direction, that's their choice. And Bhagavanta, God, has given this free will in that sense to every human being. So there are, understand this very, very clearly. Always you will be faced this problem. And you decide what is right and what is wrong. There will be always two choices. Even inside our mind, you will see that there are two voices you will get to hear. I feel like going for a smoke, for example. Oh, no, don't smoke. It's not good for your health. Oh, no, I really wish. Because it's too cold outside. And I really go, oh, no, stop, don't go there. That's not good for you. These are the fight constantly happening, right? I'm just giving as a very simple, very stupid example, but you all understand that what I'm saying here. There is always right, there is always wrong. There is no in between. You choose this or that, whatever that is, right? It's always important for us to stay on the righteous path. And if we stay with the righteous path, then we'll live the happy life. The fruits of those choices may not be immediate. It may come in whatever year, months or births, we don't know. Trying to stay on the righteous path is all in our control. For that we need a lot of perseverance, tenacity, dhairya, patience. So many words are there to stay on the righteous path. And don't go fall for the wrong path. That's all Bhagavad says. But that choice is always given to you.
And a little different answer to the same question is to the previous question. So there are always good people, bad people. There are always good forces, evil forces, and we try to pick the right things, go to the right people, and figure out why good is good, evil is evil. But ultimately, from the perspective of Vedanta, all of this is in a lower level of reality. Either we can be caught in this web and figure out why the things are happening the way they are happening, or figure out that there is a higher level of reality and wake up to it. Vedanta is just saying wake up to the reality while operating in the lower level of what. Don't try to make too much sense of what is going on. Do whatever is possible to the best of your ability while operating here, but don't try to correct every system on the planet. In the lower level of reality, it is not going to get corrected. To the best of your ability, you try to correct, you try to do right things, good things, help in the society. But while doing all of this, awaken to the higher level of knowledge.
So, Mukta Tai, namaste. One more question, like initially when you are giving the 4 levels of Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma, starting with Sagun and Sakar. And I missed the other 2, and then of course Paramatma is the last level. And I have a friend, Lakshmiji, she's taking nice notes. I know it's in, I think it would be published later on with YouTube, but it would be nice if we could just go over those levels. From Saguna Sakar to second and third.
So the first level is Saguna Pratima, which is the image of the idol. Second level is Saguna Sakar Avatar,
which is actually a present avatar who takes birth on earth.
Avatar.
Incarnation. It's not present in front of my eyes right now, but it was present at some point. So Saguna Sakar Avatar, we can only learn about them through their biographies and stories in Puranas. Then all the Saguna Sakar avatars come from one Saguna Nirakar Ishwar or Saguna Brahman. That's also the alternate name for it. And behind this Saguna Brahman, there is Nirguna Brahman or Nirguna Paramatma. And that Nirguna Paramatma is the highest level of reality. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma.
I know Taiji is an engineer, so many times in our studies we are taught this cause and effect. And as students, this concept is very obvious that, okay, dropped something and it fell down. Now, on one side we have this reality all around us, and it's drummed into us, at least as engineers, that there is a cause and effect. In the middle of all that, there are all these subtle practices. It seems very hard to convince a young person or even an old person that, this meditation, okay, it may have some effect maybe 10 years from now, or maybe these are subtle things. But it's very hard to make a connection between the obvious, because we are always observing it, and these subtle practices. So, have you found any good reasonings and teaching methods so that we are capable of doing things which are subtle also in the middle of all this very physical environment? Thank you.
So, so two things which have helped us personally. They are, while both of us were working as active professionals in corporate lives, one thing that has helped us was not exactly sitting down in meditation in the early on days, but while going to work and coming back, we would listen to one lecture of Bhagavad Gita every day without fail for about almost a decade. Whether we understood Gita, whether we were convinced, whether we agreed, disagreed, we kept all those things aside, but we would listen to one lecture of Bhagavad Gita every day. And that listening was under one single umbrella. We listened from our Guru, who was trained under the Advaita Vedanta, the Shankaracharya tradition. So we heard about the non-dualistic interpretation of Gita. There was no time to sit down, study, meditate much. Maybe few minutes of chanting every day and 1 hour of listening every day in the middle of all activities. But that listening, Shravana, with lot of intent, gave us a lot of clarity on the nature of life, the nature of corporate life, family life, how these things are integrated, what should be our priorities, what are the duties, what are not our duties, what should be the goal of human life. All these mental thoughts were clarified only because of Shravana for us personally. And that, coupled with the practice of japa, wherein meditation is little more difficult for householders like us who are caught in 50 different duties every day. But the japa chanting is a relatively easier practice, and if we learn it the right way and do it the right way, so Shravana along with japa definitely helps calm down the mind, clarify a lot of clutter, and lead us in the right direction.